To recap and to say what the OxyGeneo is and how it works. Now we have no interruptions. Thank you. I would say that the OxyGeneo works upon Bohr effect, and this is the picture of this handsome man. This is Christian Bohr, that back in 1904 discovered that our body, the hemoglobin in our body, releases oxygen upon the CO2 level. So the hemoglobin is part of our blood, as you all know, and it's like the trucks that take oxygen all over the body. We fill the trucks when we breathe to our lungs, and then the hemoglobin with the blood circulation goes all over the body, and it spreads oxygen where it's needed. And the indication for the body to show where it's needed, it's simply upon the CO2 level. So wherever we have a high concentration of CO2, this is where the oxygen will be dropped by the hemoglobin. And this was discovered, as I said before, in 1904 by a guy named Christian Bohr. Up until today, we call it the Bohr effect. What we have to know is just the Bohr effect says that upon high concentration of CO2, the hemoglobin drops oxygen. This is exactly what we use this is exactly what we use. Just a minute. Okay. This is exactly what we use when we do the Bohr effect. So currently what we have is the Neo Revive, Neo Bright, and the Capsogen. The Capsogen is made of sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, and magnesium. And the chemical interaction that you see at the bottom of the screen, this is the chemical interaction here. What is important for us is the CO2. So what we do when the Neo Revive on the Neo Bright, when they touch the OxyPod, it generates abundance of CO2 to which the body responds by releasing oxygen from within. And this is the most significant difference between the OxyGeneo and all the other treatments. We don't flow anything from the outside. We don't force anything to the skin. We merely capitalize on the natural process of the body to create the desired effect from within. And this is something that generates true and significant oxygenation of the skin from within. If you'll ask me, one of the reasons I think that the OxyGeneo is the most popular facial treatment in Canada and very, very successful is the fact that it's based upon a natural process of our body to oxygenate the skin from within. We do not manipulate the skin. We do not push anything forcefully to the skin. We simply work with the body, not against the body. So this is something very, very important to remember. Now, as I said before, so far we had the Neo Revive, Neo Bright, fantastic products, did a very, very good job. And now we have new 3 products to add to the OxyGeneo. Now, I'm saying through new products, but it's much more than new products. It's actually new technology to create or to generate the OxyGeneo treatment. And this technology, we are going to dwell on it right now. The big innovation and the big revolution of the new OxyPods, the new OxyPod technology, is that all active ingredients are actually inside the OxyPods, inside the capsule. What it does, it allows us to keep all the active ingredients in solid state, in dormant condition. And the gel that we are using with the OxyPod is only the primer gel. It's only to activate the OxyPod. So what virtually we are doing here, we activate the products on the skin of the client. Think about it. This is, as far as I know, there is no technology like that in the world, that we virtually prepare the product on the face of our client. This is the freshest it could be. This is the most potent it could be. This is the most stable it could be. And this is something that we don't worry at all about staling product because everything is in solid state. We do not need preservatives. And this is the big revolution. And whomever heard me in one of the seminars that we are talking about microneedling, we are talking about additives, we are talking about fragments and dyes and preservatives, and I'm always saying preservatives are here to stay because we cannot think about putting something which is stale on the skin of our clients. Here, this technology, actually, I have to change my presentation because this technology allows us to use products without any preservatives. And this is the big, big revolution, and this is the big innovation of the OxyPod technology. Now, so now we have a treatment which is one OxyPod, one capsule, a primer gel to be used with the capsule, and to finish, the second part of the treatment is going to be done with another sachet, another bag of products, as you can see on the right-hand side, to complete the treatment that we started with the OxyPod. So each treatment has its own gel, and Doron is sitting here next to me, and believe me, you are going to hear everything that those gels contain and what it does exactly. Needless to say that in those gels we do have preservatives because those gels are ready to go, but they're ready to be applied on the skin. So we must have preservatives there. But the first stage of the treatment, it's being done with products that we prepare on the skin of our clients with no preservatives. So the let me remove this one, the OxyPod technology. This is a breakthrough in which we have the OxyPod with robust mixture of active ingredients in their solid state. It's in a dormant condition, and we activate it on the skin of the client. The dormant ingredients are activated only upon contact with the primer gel. So we have maximum stability, maximum freshness, stronger and longer activity, and no preservatives. We are going to relate a little bit on the strength of the products. The products, as you are able to see when you have it, you'll be able to see that you see more bubbles, more CO2. It means that the products are stronger, and this is why we cut down the treatment time instead of 8 to 10 minutes to 5 to 6 minutes. The first stage of this treatment is enough. If you work 5 to 7 minutes, I would say, you don't have to go the whole 10 minutes. Just a minute. Okay, so we have three products that we are going to introduce today. This is the Neo Balance. This is not Neo. I'm sorry. The Neo is something totally different. The OxyPod Balance, the Revive, and the Illuminate. The common denominator for everything, for all the products, is the preservatives-free, dyes-free, dye-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free, not tested on animal, vegan, and if you really want, it's also gluten-free. The main component of each and every capsule is for the Revive, this is the Red Algae. For the Balance, it's the activated bamboo charcoal, which you are going to hear a lot from Dawn about that. And the Illuminate is the vitamin C, and we are going to talk about each and every one of them. Each and every treatment has a completing serum. You want to take from here? Okay. Each serum, when we're going to talk about each serum separately, but all the serums contain the three basic ingredients that you can see here. The oil complex, this is the argan and jojoba oil. the plant extract complex, horsetail and vanilla, and the shea butter. We are going to expand about these ingredients in a second, but those ingredients are common to all the serums of all the treatments, the Balance, the Illuminate, and the Revive. At the top of that, we have more ingredients that complete the treatment for each and every OxyPod, and we are going to talk about it in a second. So, I will hand over the microphone here to Doron to talk about the active ingredients of each and every treatment. The most important part of my presentation here is to say that we didn't add simply another Neo something, another product, but we added new technology to the OxyGeneo, new technology that is based upon the OxyPod, which brings us all the active ingredients in a solid state, and we prepare it on the face of the client. So now I'm going to hand over to Doron. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Doron, and in the next part of the presentation, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into the new treatments, and we will talk about the active ingredients that were chosen for each and every new treatment, both for the OxyPods and the new serums. I do want to take one step back for a second and to say one thing about the OxyPod technology. And as we now understand, this is a very unique technology in the way that it keeps the active ingredient in dormant state and only activate them when the treatment actually starts. So we have no preservatives, and they are as fresh as they can be and as potent as they can be, and all the other benefits that Moshe just mentioned. But I think that it's fair to say that the OxyPod technology can only be as good as the active ingredients that we choose for the treatments. And here I have to say that Pologen, this is the company that manufactures the OxyGeneo machine, they did a fantastic work in selecting only the best of the best ingredients, ingredients that protect and correct and prevent, ingredients that work together in synergy and amplify one another, rather than competing with one another. So the ingredients are at the same time very, very effective and also very skin friendly. You know that Pologen is a company that is doing what they do is medical equipment. So when they went to develop these new products, they collaborated with the same chemist that is working with Estee Lauder. So we can we can rest assured that this product has all the knowledge and all the know-how to the highest standards in the industry. Okay. So next we are going to talk about the OxyGeneo Balance. This is the first treatment that we're going to dissect. And just to remind you, this is the treatment with the charcoal, with activated charcoal and the blackish OxyPod. Now, the reason that we call it OxyGeneo Balance is because one of the main benefits of this treatment is that it balances and mattifies oily skin. It says it here, which means that here we are going to see ingredients that know how to reduce and regulate the level of sebum and oils that our own skin produces. Now, just to be clear, the sebum that we produce is very important and healthy for us because it keeps our skin protected and keeps the hydration inside the skin. But when we produce too much of it, then we start getting troubles and seeing all sorts of damage in the skin. So it's very important that we know how to regulate the amount of oils that our skin produces. We will also see ingredients that know how to purify clogged pores, to detoxify the pores and clear them from all the toxins and bacteria and dead cells and all the dirt that keeps our pores clogged. And of course, this is, OxyGeneo treatment, so we will see a very good job done on the texture and the signs of aging, the fine lines and the wrinkles. Now, if you take a quick glimpse on this list, the first thing that comes to mind is that this treatment, the OxyGeneo Balance, is perfectly suited for people with oily skin types and people that are more prone to the acne. On this regard, I just have a quick comment to say that each and every OxyGeneo treatment will do a good work on the acne, because basically what we do in the OxyGeneo, we use the Bohr effect to oxygenate the skin and to enrich the skin with oxygen. And as we know, the P. acne bacteria cannot survive in oxygen-rich environment. Practically, it suffocates. So this is a treatment that is perfectly suited for people with acne and oily skin types, more than any other OxyGeneo treatment, because of the corrective ingredients that we are about to see. Now, it's very important for me to mention that this is not only for people with acne or oily skin. This is for anybody, really anybody that wants to enjoy a good skin detoxification and profound cleansing of the pores, and to enjoy a shine-free look. So what we are going to do right now is to zoom into the OxyPod, into the balancing OxyPod, and here we identify 3 main active ingredients. First and foremost, this is the activated charcoal that you see here. This is the star of this OxyPod. This is one of the best detoxifying ingredients in nature, and we will talk about it soon. We also see a friend with a funny name. This is the Camu Camu, and we have the mandelic acid here. So what we will do right now is to say a few words about each and every one of them. Oh, ignore that. And we are going to start with the activated bamboo charcoal, which is a very, very special active ingredient. And like I said, like we know, this is one of the most effective detoxifying ingredient that is known to science, and purifying ingredient that, that we can find in skincare. Now, activated charcoal has many, many applications, not only in skincare. For example, in hospitals, we use the activated charcoal to treat people with poisoning and overdoses. So if someone comes to the ER, if he or she swallowed too many pills, for example, the first thing to do is to flush the digestive system with activated charcoal, because when the activated charcoal goes through the digestive system, it simply absorbs all the toxins and the poisons before our body is able to absorb it into the bloodstream. And then it simply flushes out the body. We are not able to digest the activated charcoal. Now, in the context of skincare and dermatology, what we do with the activated charcoal, or the best way to think about the activated charcoal, is like small, microscopic, and very powerful magnet that we put on the skin, and it goes into the pores and simply sucks up all the impurities, like the dead cells and the sebum and the toxins, the bacteria, all the dirt, everything, all these impurities that clog the pores and make our skin oily and more prone to the acne. These are simply sucked up by the activated charcoal and then flushes off the surface of the skin. Again, for the same reason that we are not able to digest the charcoal, we are also not able to absorb it in our skin. Now, unfortunately, we don't have enough time to talk about how activated charcoal is made, but this is a very interesting and unique process. Let's just say that the activated charcoal is completely different than the charcoal that we use in the barbecue. Okay, it's completely different. The end product of the activation process is what you see here. This is a powder, a black powder, that is made of small, pure particles of activated charcoal. If you put one of these particles under the microscope, this is what you see. I hope that you can all see what I'm marking here. This is the structure of activated charcoal under the microscope, and the first thing that we notice is that the structure of the charcoal is extremely porous, with a lot of pores and channels and tunnels that go inside the charcoal. And this is exactly what activated charcoal is all about. This is where the magic happens. This is what the activation process is doing for us, to significantly increase the surface area of the charcoal. The surface area of activated charcoal is huge, huge. Just to give you the scale, in 1 teaspoon of this powder of activated charcoal, you have more surface area than an entire football field. Okay?
Say it again, say it again. This is not trivial.
This is not trivial, but think that if you take 1 teaspoon of this substance, here you have in 1 teaspoon the same, more surface area than an entire football field, which is quite significant. And why is it good for us? Because the more surface area we have, it means that we have more of these pores and tunnels inside the charcoal. And these are the magnets or the vacuums that trap all the toxins and the bacteria and clear them out of the skin. So the more we have, the better. Okay, I think that now we can all understand and appreciate better why activated charcoal is considered a very effective detoxifying ingredient, and also why we want to include it in the balancing treatment to treat the pores and also the acne. Moving on. The next ingredients that we're about to see is called Camu Camu. This is yet another exotic active ingredient, and I mean this literally because this is a berry, like you can see here. This berry grows in the Amazon forest in Brazil and in Bolivia, and apparently this berry is the highest source of vitamin C in nature. It holds up to 60 times more vitamin C than orange, which means that here in this treatment, we use the Camu Camu to boost the vitamin C in the skin. Why do we want to do that? Why do we want to use vitamin C? Well, there are many good reasons why. The most important one, in my mind, is that the vitamin C is a very powerful antioxidant, which means that it can deactivate free radicals very, very effectively. And I do have to say 1 or 2 words about the free radicals, because we are about to see a lot of antioxidants and we need to understand exactly why they are so good for us and why do we want to include them in the treatment. So free radical is a small vicious molecule that is missing electrons, and this makes the molecule very unstable and very reactive. So basically, the free radical goes like crazy inside the skin looking for other molecules to attack and to steal their electrons in order to become stable again. And then 2 things can happen. They can create the molecule that was stolen, that the electrons were stolen from, it becomes a free radical itself, or it simply breaks down. Eventually, what we see is that in the skin, we always have an ongoing change of free radicals that attack and destroy the structures of the skin, everything. The damage that they do to us is very significant. They destroy the cells and the membranes and the collagens, and they go all the way into the DNA to attack the DNA and to steal the electrons from our own DNA. So we really, really need to deactivate as many free radicals as we can, and this is exactly what the vitamin C is doing for us. It is able to stop these free radicals and to prevent the damage, and this is very important because when we have a lot of free radicals, they cause a lot of damage, and this damage causes inflammation. And as we know, inflammation also brings acne. So what we do here with the vitamin C is first and foremost to reduce the number of active free radicals and to reduce the level of damage and inflammation in our skin. We also know that vitamin C is a cofactor in the production of the collagen. So the more vitamin C we have, the more collagen we produce. And this is good news for people with, let's say, acne scars. And we also know that vitamin C is a skin brightening agent. So it helps to fade out the pigmentation that is sometimes associated with the acne breakouts. And this was the Camu Camu, and our next ingredient is the mandelic acid. Mandelic acid, I don't know if you heard about it. This is next generation of alpha hydroxy acid, which means that this is a very effective and gentle exfoliant. What the mandelic acid is doing best is to go into the pores and on the surface of the skin and to break the bonds, the chemical bonds that hold together the dead cells and the dirt and all the impurities. So when they break the bonds, they make it much more easier for the activated charcoal to come and grab all these impurities and clear them off the surface of the skin. This is just one example of how the mandelic acid and the activated charcoal collaborate together. Again, the mandelic acid break the bonds and prepare the skin for the activated charcoal that comes and sucks everything away. So we use mandelic acid to collaborate with the activated charcoal. It reduces the inflammation. It features antibacterial properties. Again, very good news for people with acne. And it also helps to improve hyperpigmentation. By the way, mandelic acid is derived from bitter almonds. And these are the main corrective ingredients that we can find in the balancing OxyPod. Next, what we will see is the balancing serum. Again, we talked about the OxyPod, and now we're going to talk about the serum. The first thing that we identify here are the common formulation that we find in each and every new serum. We're talking about the oily complex of argan and jojoba, and the horsetail and vanilla extracts, and the shea butter. And then we go to the next part of the serum that has the corrective ingredients that were selected specifically for the balancing treatment, and these include the azelaic acid, a complex of botanical peptides, which are very unique, and we will talk about it, and of course, salicylic acid, which is a very common ingredient in the treatment of acne. So now let's say a few words about each and every one of these products, and we're going to start with the argan and the jojoba oils. I'm sure that you all heard about argan or jojoba or both. They are very common ingredients in skincare. And they are both extremely rich with vitamins and nutrients and omega fatty acids, especially vitamin E, by the way. They are a very high source of vitamin E, which is yet another very important antioxidant in the skin. And they also contain linoleic acids that go on the surface of our skin and protect it, giving it the hydration. It locks the hydration inside the skin and prevent transepidermal water loss. So when we talk about the argan and the jojoba, we talk about nutrients and vitamins and antioxidants. They also have a very soothing effect, and they are anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. But I think that in the context of the balancing treatment, what is more interesting to see is how both of these oils help us to regulate and to reduce the sebum production of our own skin. And the reason is that if you look at the structure of the argan oil or the jojoba oil and you compare it to the structure of our own sebum, you will see that they are almost identical. So if we put those oils on the skin, it makes our skin think that it already has enough sebum, and then the skin will reduce the amount of oils that it secretes to the surface. And this is very, very important because the argan and the jojoba oils, unlike the sebum, they are non-comedogenic, which means that they can go into the pores to replace the sebum without clogging the pores, without holding together all the dead cells and the bacteria and the dirt, without basically allowing the acne bacteria to thrive and to infest in our skin. So this is why it is very, very effective to use argan and jojoba oils in the treatment of acne, again, because they help us to regulate the amount of sebum that we produce, and they do not clog the pores like our own sebum. Now, I'm sure that you that you all noticed this picture here to the right end of the frame. And what you see here is nothing but the argan tree that grows in Morocco. This is where the argan comes from. It is native to Morocco. And these goats that you see here, they evolved over time to learn how to climb this tree because they want to reach to the freshest fruits that grows on the top of the tree. So they learned over time how to climb it, basically risking their life, but it's worth it because the argan is so healthy for them. Anyway, these are the argan and the jojoba oils, and these are the tree climbing goats from Morocco. Next, we have the horsetail and vanilla extracts. These are two plants that, again, they are very good source of minerals and antioxidants and vitamins and all sorts of nutrients. They have a very soothing effect during the treatment, and they also help us to reduce inflammation and to reduce the level of the bacteria in our skin. The shea butter, again, I'm sure that you all heard about shea butter. The most active ingredient in the shea butter is called cinnamic acid. Cinnamic acid, this is a natural UV filter that reduces inflammation, and when you put it on your skin, it provides a protective surface that protects the skin from the UV, and at the same time keeps the hydration, locks the hydration inside the skin. The shea butter is a very soothing ingredient, also with anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. Next, we see the azelaic acid, and now we are already moving to the corrective ingredients that were selected specifically for the balancing serum. Azelaic acid, I don't know if you remember, but we also have azelaic acid in the Neo Bright gel that we all know. Azelaic acid, what it's doing here is to accelerate the skin renewal and recovery, because we need to remember the OxyGeneo treatment exfoliates the skin, and the azelaic acid, what it's doing is to encourage, to promote, it encourages the skin to regenerate new skin instead of the one that we exfoliated. So it's very important that we use it here to protect us. It also helps to reduce pimple and blackhead formation, and also we know that azelaic acid helps to kill, practically kill the P. acne bacteria. And of course, it has brightening properties, which are very good, again, for the pigmentation that is associated with the breakouts. So this is azelaic acid. And next, what we see is a peptide complex. The full catchy name is oligopeptide 10 complex. And we also see the salicylic acid. So let's start with the peptides. These are peptides that were derived from plants. These are botanical peptides, and what they do best is to attack the acne bacteria. Well, they don't actually attack the bacteria. What they do, they bind to the bacteria, and then they serve as a signal to the immune cell system to come and attack the bacteria. So they mark the bacteria for our immune system. And the salicylic acid, I'm sure that you all heard about it. This is a beta-hydroxy acid, which means that it is another very effective exfoliant that cleanses the pores and break the bonds that hold together the cells and the dirt. And basically what it's doing here in this treatment is to expose the acne bacteria to the botanical peptides, to the killer peptides. Okay, so you can think about it like the salicylic acid is going to the pores and open them, and then a stream of peptides is going in to attack the bacteria. This is another example of how the ingredients are working together. And I think that this summarizes everything that we need to know so far about the new OxyGeneo balancing treatment. Moving on, we're going to do the same, like we did for the OxyGeneo balance, we're going to do the same for the OxyGeneo Illuminate treatment. And the reason that we call this treatment Illuminate is that well, first and foremost, this treatment unifies and brightens the skin tone and reduces the signs of pigmentation. So here we will see corrective ingredients that know how to correct the signs of pigmentation at the source of the pigmentation. And the source of the pigmentation, as we all know, these are the melanocytes. Melanocytes, these are the cells in our skin that produce the melanin. which is very, very good for us, by the way. We need melanin in our skin because melanin absorbs harmful UV radiation and transforms it into heat. So it's very important that we have melanin in our skin, but sometimes our melanocytes are too sensitive and they start to produce more melanin than they should, and then we start seeing all sorts of pigmentation on our skin. What we need to do in order to reverse this process is to inhibit the melanocytes themselves, and I'm talking specifically on a specific enzyme that resides inside the melanocytes. This enzyme is called tyrosinase, and this is the enzyme that is responsible for the production of melanin inside the melanocytes. This is the factory of melanin, if you want, in our skin. And like I said, this this enzyme is very sensitive. If it's exposed to too much UV, or if there is too much inflammation or too many hormones in our skin, it will start generate more and more melanin. And what we will see here are ingredients that know how to inhibit this enzyme and to reduce the rate of melanin production. We will also see ingredients that know how to protect us from the sun damage, and of course, we will see good work done on the texture and the wrinkles. So, as we did before, we are going to zoom into the illuminating OxyPod, and here we see 5 main active ingredients: the kojic acid, the vitamin C, and the alpha-arbutin. These are all melanin inhibitors. These ingredients, what they know to do best is to inhibit the production of melanin because they inhibit the tyrosinase enzyme. And again, this is the source of the pigmentation. So we are treating the root cause of the pigmentation. We're not just bleaching the skin. And this is very important to understand. Each and every one of these ingredients go to to different stage of the melanin production, and it inhibits the melanin. And by doing so, they help us to control the level of melanin that we produce. The carrot, what the carrot is giving us is mostly carotenoids. Oh, you know what? Let me take it back for a second. I think that we have a slide for each and every one. Let's go back 1 or 2 steps. Vitamin C, we already talked about vitamin C when we talked about the Camu Camu, so we know that it is a very powerful antioxidant that reduces inflammation and stimulates the collagen, and it also actively lightens the skin tone because it inhibits the production of the melanin within the melanocytes. The kojic acid, which is derived from a different kind of fungi, again, this is a very powerful skin brightening ingredient. It is very commonly used in skin brightening treatments, and this one directly inhibits the production of melanin. This one goes directly to the tyrosinase enzyme and keeps it in its inactive state. It also helps to fade out and to balance dark spots and helps us to shrink the pores. Alpha-arbutin is an active ingredient that is derived from the bearberry plant, the one that you see here. Again, this is another ingredient that allows us to inhibit the formation of the melanin and to lighten up the skin. It's very effective in pigmentation and in the treatment of age spots, and it is also a safer alternative to synthetic hydroquinone. Just one word about the hydroquinone. This is, it's considered a very effective but harsh ingredient for skin brightening treatments. So what the alpha-arbutin is giving us is a slow release mechanism of natural hydroquinone into the skin. So when we absorb the alpha-arbutin, it will slowly release hydroquinone over a long period of time, and this is the safest way to use hydroquinone.
Just to add, this is the safest way because we don't kill any melanocyte cell. We inhibit the activity of the cells, but we don't kill any cell.
Thank you, Moshe. Okay, moving on. The carrot extracts. Carrots are an excellent source of carotenoids. Carotenoids, I'm sure that some of you heard about it. This is a very well-known powerful antioxidant. This is also the pigment, by the way, that gives the fruits and vegetables the light pigment, the light color. Now, this is a very important antioxidant because this antioxidant goes and deactivates a very specific free radical that is more associated with pigmentation. Okay, I don't want to get into the type of this free radical, but just so you know, the carotenoids stop a specific free radical that is more associated with pigmentation, so it's very important that we include it here in this treatment. It also helps to brighten the skin tone because of the pigment itself, and it helps to protect from photo damage, keep our skin protected from the UV radiation. And the last ingredient of the illuminating OxyPod is the prickly pear. This is, this is the fruit of the sabra. And the prickly pear has the highest source of vitamin C from a plant, which is, again, a very effective antioxidant that we need to replenish all the time. It is also a good source of omega-3 and 6 fatty acids and vitamin K and amino acids. So it gives nutrients, it gives protection. More importantly, in my mind, is that the prickly pear is rich with hydration. It deeply hydrates the skin, and it keeps the skin very soothing during the treatment. It keeps the irritation low and also helps to reduce the inflammation. So it's very important to include it when we work with active ingredients that are very effective. We also want to keep our skin soothed and non-irritated, and this is exactly what the prickly pear is doing for us. Moving on. The illuminating serum. I remind you, we talked about the illuminating OxyPod. The next step is to talk about the illuminating serum. The first thing to do is to identify the common formulation. This is the oily complex, the extract complex, and the shea butter. We already mentioned them, so we're going to go right to the corrective ingredients, which include the Bohr tree bark. We have an ingredient with a very catchy name. It's called andesilenoyl phenylalanine. It's very important that you remember this name. Not really, no. And we have caprylic triglyceride. So let's say a few words about each and every one of them. D-acetylbaldine, or DAB for short, this is a substance that we extract from a bark of a tree that grows only in Chile. It's called the Bohr tree. And the DAB blocks the activation of the enzyme, of the tyrosinase enzyme, and reduces the appearance of pigmentation. So this is another way, another substance that allows us to inhibit the production of the melanin. And I want to say one thing: all the ingredients that we saw so far that inhibit the melanin, they do it in different stages of the process. Okay, so one of them will go and inhibit the tyrosinase at a certain location, and another ingredient will inhibit the source for the melanin. It will inhibit the source of the tyrosinase itself. What I'm trying to say is that they will work on different stages of the melanin production, which means that they will work much more effectively because they complete each other and they do not compete with one another on the same spot, if you know what I mean. Next, we have the andesilenoyl phenylalanine. This is a very catchy name, I know, and it is more commonly known in the industry as SepiWhite, MSH. MSH stands for melanin stimulating hormone. If you remember, when we talk about the melanocytes, we said that there are three main stimulators for overproduction of melanin. We have the UV radiation, we have inflammation or injury, and we also have hormones that stimulate our melanocytes. And the main hormone in the skin that stimulates melanocytes is called melanotropin. So essentially, what the SepiWhite is doing for us is to stop the melanotropin, to prevent it from binding to our melanocytes and to stimulate overproduction. So this is yet another mechanism of action of of melanin inhibition. And the last ingredient of the illuminating serum is the caprylic triglycerides. This is a combination of glycerin and coconut oil. The caprylic triglycerides is very important again because first of all it's considered a natural preservative which keeps the other active ingredients more potent for a longer period of time. It is also very lightweight, so it helps to carry other active ingredients deeper into the skin. It's like a carrier, like a shuttle of ingredients into the deeper layer of the skin. And it also provides a lightweight and non-greasy barrier defense that helps to lock the hydration inside the skin and prevent transepidermal water loss. And I think that this summarizes the OxyGeneo Illuminate treatment. You are doing great. We only have one more treatment to go.
And you have exactly 7 minutes for the last
7
one.
minutes for the last one. So the last treatment is the OxyGeneo Revive. This is the one with the pinkish OxyPod that you see here. And this is our all new anti-aging treatment. Here we will see ingredients that deeply hydrate the skin, and we will see a lot of antioxidants that protect us from premature aging, and we will also see ingredients that know how to boost the collagen production inside our dermis. So more than any other OxyGeneo treatment that we saw so far, here we will see a better job done on the wrinkles and the fine lines and the sagging skin and all the other signs of aging. So in the reviving OxyPod, we see first and foremost the red algae. The red algae is the star of this OxyPod, the one that gives it the nice pinkish color. We also see caffeic and ferulic acid, and we see retinyl palmitate. Red algae, it is yet another very, very effective and unique ingredient. Well, it's not one ingredient, it holds a lot of ingredients together. If you go back and see all the ingredients that we talk about so far, and you put them all and you put all of them in one seaweed, you will get the red algae. The red algae is packed with antioxidants, a lot of antioxidants, and nutrients, and vitamins, and hydration, vitamin C, vitamin E, abundance here. A lot of hydrations, a lot of vitamins, a lot of nutrients and antioxidants. It also promotes collagen renewal. It's very effective for wound healing, and it helps to protect us against premature skin aging. And you know that very, very wise people centuries ago were using the red algae to cover the wounds and burns of people because they recognized that it's very therapeutic and it helps to accelerate and to promote wound healing, mostly by regenerating new collagen fibers. Next one, we have the caffeic acid, which is derived from coffee beans and other vegetables and fruit. It's not caffeine, it's a different substance. Caffeic acid is a natural UV filter, so it protects us from the UV. It's yet another powerful antioxidant with anti-inflammatory properties, and it also helps to prevent premature skin aging because it inhibits MMPs. Ferulic acid is quite similar. This is also a very powerful antioxidant that protects us from, protects the cells from the UV. It helps to retain moisture in the skin and to keep it hydrated during the treatment and after, and prolongs the effect of other antioxidants. And retinyl palmitate, this is a precursor of vitamin A. So we absorb the retinyl palmitate into the skin, and then it is converted into vitamin A in different stages. And this is very important because when we absorb the retinyl palmitate, it is converted to a certain substance, and then this certain substance is converted into the active form of vitamin A. So this is another slow release mechanism of vitamin A to the skin. So it's non-irritating. It helps to exfoliate and renew the skin barrier. It increases the cellular turnover. This is the constant regeneration of our skin, of the top layer of the skin. Of course, we know that it stimulates new collagen fibers, and again, this is a very effective antioxidant. And the reviving serum, allow me to skip the fundamental formulation and go right to the corrective ingredients. Edelweiss extract, the same Edelweiss from The Sound of Music, by the way, and palmitoyl peptide complex. The Edelweiss extract grows in the Alps in high altitudes, and the reason that it can survive the harsh conditions of the Alps is because it is loaded with antioxidants. There are a lot of antioxidants in the Edelweiss flower. It has anti-inflammatory benefits. It helps to lock the hydration in the skin and also helps to prevent premature collagen breakage by MMPs. The palmitoyl peptides, what they do, they mimic the natural process of collagen regeneration in our body, in our skin. So they go deeper in the skin and they bind to the fibroblast to deliver them the message to become active again and start regenerating new collagen and elastin fibers. So they boost the production of the collagen. The palmitoyl tripeptide 5 specifically works on the TGF beta 3. Sorry. This peptide activates the TGF beta 3, which is a key growth factor that is responsible for synthesis of collagen type 1, which is the collagen that we want to promote in our skin. This is the type of collagen that gives us the strong structure of the skin and elasticity. And I think that now we are done also with the OxyGeneo Revive, and Moshe, you want to add a few more things. Okay.
One more comment I want to make. Many times we asked about the OxyPod Balance, which is very, very popular for acne and oily skin. And the answer is yes, you can use it at any part of the body. There are many people that suffer acne on the back or other parts of the body. You can use it, and you are welcome to use it everywhere. I started with a picture that I skipped, but I want to go back to this picture. And this is a very nice picture that we got from one of our customers here in BC, Casbah Day Spa. And this person is actually, she's an esthetician that works she works at the spa, and she tried it on herself. And she said that for 10 years, her skin didn't look so good like it looked after one treatment of the OxyPod Balance. So this is very, very encouraging to see that the first feedback that we get on those products is something that helped so much to the acne. So we are very, very happy about it. Now we open the microphone. If you guys have any questions, let me open the microphones. And if somebody has any question, Angela, you have a question.
Hi, yes, I'm just wondering for the acne product, can you use it on teen or preteen skin, or is it mostly just for adults acne?
It could be used also, needless to say, it could be used also on teens age. This is not a problem. This is not energy-based, so it's very, very safe. If you have somebody which is very young, you may want their parents to sign the consent form, okay? But you can use it, you can definitely use it on young skin.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions that you guys may have? You are
also,
welcome.
Can I make a suggestion, Moshe?
Yes, please, Katie.
Also, because a lot of our clients have our microneedling as well, going through all of the ingredients, you sort of have an idea of what treatment would be good for beneficial for different reasons. Normally, if I was going to prepare skin for a microneedling package, if you wanted to combine microneedling with the OxyGeneo, personally, I would really recommend the Balance. Do it once, twice, like a week apart, and probably probably a week after that, do your microneedling. Why? Because it's going to prepare the skin better, detoxify the skin, clear out the pores prior to microneedling. And then halfway through, when you're going through your package of 3 microneedling treatments, about halfway through, I would suggest one of the Revive. Why? Because the ingredients in that is beneficial for the TGF B3, which helps with collagen 1.
15 to 20% off in between exfoliation services.
Thank you very much, Katie. This is very, very beneficial.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So thank you very much, everybody. We did record this session, and we'll find a way to put it somewhere online so everybody can go back. This is a lot of information. I'm aware of it. We are talking about lots of ingredients here, and we do want you guys to have it available so you can go back to the presentation at any time and to learn about the active ingredients, because this is something that if you know it very well and you are able to educate your clients, it will be fantastic. They will understand the benefit, the great benefits of this treatment. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.